Welcome back, CAD students. Today I'm going to do the tutorial to help you make the connecting rod here in OnShape. This is what our part's going to look like when we're done, but we're going to have to go fast so I can get this done in one video. So I'm going to get started. Feel free to pause it where you need. Go into your assignments tab and look for the document that says connecting rod. I clearly don't have that because I'm not a student in your class. I'm the teacher, so I'm going to create my own. But you'll find it in there and you'll create your document in there. When you come in here, make sure that your tape measure reads inches. And I'm also going to do the same thing for my workspace units because my default is not. And then I'm going to go ahead and I want to look at the front. I'm going to create my first sketch right there in the front view. If you notice that part, it has kind of we call it a connecting rod, but it has kind of a sunglasses look. So I'm going to use the circle tool to make the circles. Notice I'm putting my circle right on the origin. And then I'm going to drag my mouse straight over and create another one on the origin. If you don't do that relationship, we're going to fix it later for you, but if you follow along, it's going to save you some time. I'm then going to use the line tool to create the outline of my part, and I'm working hard to not put in any weird relationships, but if you do and you end up getting in trouble, just come see me and we'll fix it. There's the basics of my part. I'm now going to escape out of the line tool and I'm going to add in some relationships that make this part be fully constrained when we're done. So let's start by making sure that our lines, so I'm going to come up here and look at relationships. I want my line here and my line here to be vertical. And you can see, did you see that when I highlight over them, they are. I want this line to be horizontal. If it's not, you're going to click the horizontal. I want this line to be horizontal, that one. Okay, so those are all there. So now let's do some equals. We want this line, and then I'm going to hit the shift key and hit the other bottom line. We want those two to be equal. They want to be the same size. See how that moved in? The same is true of these circles. I want this circle, hold the shift key down, hit this circle to be equal. And it kind of changed the size. Same thing for these inside parts. This one and this one equal. Now we can start dimensioning. I want to dimension the circles, now that we know they're equal, to have a radius of 3. If your part got big, that's okay. That's going to happen. We're going to zoom with our mouse in and out to get it the way we want. This made me notice too that we have one more thing we need to do. We need to make this line down here and this line, so hold the shift key down. Those need to be collinear. So I'm going to hit the cosecant and it brought that down. So now we can keep adding in these dimensions. The top from side to side needs to be 42.5. If your part gets big, you can hit this front up here, or you can do some other things to move it. If your part doesn't look correct anymore, as long as you're not constrained, so I'm going to go down here, you can go ahead and start just moving it over as long as you're not in a tool. So from center of circle to center of circle, I need that to be 37.5. The height of this whole part needs to be 7. The distance between the bottom of the part and the circle needs to be 2.8. The distance between the top line and the bottom line needs to be 4.5. And then the distance from the center of the circle to the bottom needs to be, oops, wrong one. From the center of the circle to the side edge, sorry. From the center of the circle to the side edge, that needs to be 2.5. Now we're going to do an angle measurement. This angle is way too steep, so I'm going to click on both of these using the measurement tool, and because they're not the distance between that, it's going to give me that nice angle tool. I'm going to click 45. It went in the wrong direction. That's okay. I'm going to escape and drag that over. If I need to, I can delete this and bring this kind of back and redraw it. We're going to have to put the relationships back in. Escape out of that. So let's try this again from here to there. We want that to be 45. So there must be a relationship in there that we don't like. I'm going to go in and add this in and make this 45. We're going to fix this here in a minute. And then I'm going to make sure because we're getting to be close to fully constrained in here. So I'm going to make sure that this circle, and I should put the center of this circle and the center of this circle, that those are horizontal. They lie on the same line. So that's going to fix that. Okay, I paused it for a second so that I could clean up some of my dimensions, and now I'm going to come in, get rid of that. I'm going to clean up this angle. So I'm going to get rid of that angle. I want this to be back to where these angles are facing in. So I'm going to go ahead and put a measurement here at the bottom of this. I'm going to make this 4. Notice because these are equal, you're both 4. And now I'm going to try my angle tool again. And I'm going to make that 45. And then I am going to make sure that this, and hold the shift key down, and this side angle are equal. And now you can see I'm fully constrained. This is essentially what your part should look like before you move on to sketch 2. So we're going to extrude this part, and we're going to extrude it. Let me move this up so you can see it. Blind 2.1 inches. And now we officially have a part that we can start to add some features to. We're going to go back into sketch 1, so we're going to edit this. And we're going to add in some champers. We're going to round these edges. So the chamfer tool is up here. I'm going to click these edges, and then I'm going to make sure that instead of a half or quarter of an inch, that they're 2 inches. So there's my first set of champers. I'm going to do the same thing to this side. I'm going to click, click, and notice because I had it on the other side too, it's good. I'm going to green check that. Whoops, click, click, hit enter, enter, enter. Now I want to do the same idea, but on the bottom of this part. So I'm going to click these 2 edges. Instead of 2 on these, I'm going to double click this. I want these to be 1 and 1. And we're going to do the same on the other side over here. Green check this. 1. Notice that this part now is no longer fully constrained like it was before. That happens. We're going to go back in, shift key, hold those both down, hit the equal here and here. Make sure those are equal. And once we've added back in some of these constraints that went away when we chamfered the edge, we should now green check this, and we have our champers in there as well. We're going to go ahead now and add in a top plane cut. So I'm going to hit this top plane, and we're going to do a sketch right on this surface, right here. I'm going to add in some corner rectangles. I want to go all the way to this outside edge here. I'm going to drag my rectangle down. I'm going to scoot in so you can see this a little better. I'm going to do the same thing on this side, only on the bottom side. And now that I have those two, notice I have this like weird constraint right there. Oops. I'm gonna Control Z that one. Go in. Let me try this corner rectangle again. So starting at this corner, and then I'm gonna come up. Okay, I can see now that I'm gonna have to move some stuff, but we'll worry about that in a minute. Let's start adding in our dimensions. So I'm gonna zoom back over so we can see this. So I'm gonna dimension the length of this to be 7. And then the distance from the edge of that rectangle to the bottom is going to be 1.3. And then I want to make sure, so I'm going to escape out of that, that this part can't shift along here. So I'm going to hold that till I highlight that dot, hold the shift key down, highlight the corner so that those 2 dots are highlighted. I'm going to do cosecant. Now it's fully constrained. So now I'm going to center this. I want to do a measurement from the end of this part all the way to the edge of that part. So edge to edge. That needs to be 35.5. And now that I've done that, I can make sure that this is 7 long. That should pull it out. I can see that it needs to be cosecant on this, so I'm going to get out of the tool. I'm going to click on the dot, and then I'm going to shift and click on that line and cosecant that. It's going to bring it down. And I need one more dimension. I need the distance from, so I'm going to dimension this, the top of the rectangle to the edge of the part, and I want that to be 0.8. Now I'm fully constrained, and I can do an extrude. In this case, I'm doing remove, and I'm doing it through all. And I've done those cutouts that I needed in my part. We are close to being done. We're going to keep it moving. We have some fillets to do. So I'm going to click on that tool, and then I got to shift my part, and I want to click on the edges inside and underneath, and those need a radius of 1 inch. I'm going to grab that so they have that nice rounding, and now I am ready to change the type of material. So down here under part 1, I'm going to do my properties, call this my connecting rod. Oops, not a connection. Couple more things we're going to do. We're going to assign a material. This needs to be aluminum 1020. So under none here, I'm going to search for, 1060 aluminum. I'm going to grab that. Green check it. If you want to change the appearance, you can click on the color and go to a gray and do that. And then let me get out of this. Oops. One more thing we can do for this. We can come over here, and instead of saying sketch 1, we can rename this to base. And we can call this cutouts. Oops. So I'm clicking on this and renaming it. And green check that. I'm sorry, hit enter on that. And then you have a finished part under the 15 minutes. If you get stuck with any constraints, see me and we'll get you fixed up and get you finished on this part.